So we've hit the embargo for Ping's G440 driver. We're going to take a look at the Max. We're going to take it onto our ADC robot. We've got Glenn behind us who's going to hit some shots on camera for you. Mark here to give us all the technical details. Let's jump into it. First things first, let's talk about Ping, what they've kind of spiel, their talk about it and the technology that's in it.
Yeah, well, Ping's have always been known for the most forgiving driver on the market, and for the most part they have been for a pretty long time. So what they're really chasing after is a little distance and stuff for the most part.
Right.
That's really what they're looking for.
Perfect intro. Basically, you know, Ping's a staple. Like, you know, when you look at it, you're like, it's going to be a bit bigger, it's going to have the turbulators,
right.
And I actually got some time with the engineer that designed these. And, you know, lots of people don't like the turbulators, but his stance on it is, if it adds something, it's going to stay in the driver.
Well, so, you got to give Ping some credit because, you know, they're all about performance, right? They don't worry about looks as much as some other ones, but if it works, they'll put it on there no matter how ugly it is. And, you know, I don't disagree with that concept.
Yeah. And I actually think they've tidied up the, you know, the weird maybe look on top with this carbon fiber.
Looking, as you can see, it kind of breaks it up a bit with the carbon fiber, for sure.
And not only does the carbon fiber look better this year, it helps with the technology they're putting into it. So they've gone with a theory they're going to lighten the head weight so they can build the drivers at 46 inches, the max legal limit.
Right.
And that basically now means that you're going to be able to put weight elsewhere in the head, right?
Yep.
So they've gone with more weight lower down in the back. And then they've also put some structures inside these bars, and you hit this the other day.
Yeah, I hit it Friday or yesterday, a couple of days ago, and yeah, it sounds a lot better. It really does.
Right, and these bars, they create sound. There's material through the head, so it's making it sound quite, you know.
Yeah, it just sounds more solid.
More solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not quite as ringy and then clanky as it sometimes.
Not so much Ping.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
The face is obviously the big thing, right? This is a thinner, faster face. So the intention is to get more ball speed, and we kind of hear this story pitched every year. It's going to go further. It's going to be more forgiving, and we're hitting the limits. So I'm keen to see like what we do get ball speed-wise out of the Ping.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I played around with actually hitting it, you know, myself a bit, and there's another guy that has a little bit more speed than I do, and it definitely is as long as some of the other drivers out there. They're not lacking in ball speed, as they have been occasionally in the past.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We're going to get to look at the channel and have a check out all the drivers, and you'll kind of see where they lay. So kind of the other last thing, and you're not going to be able to see this on camera or even with a B-roll, but it's got a free floating hosel. So the sleeve goes in, but it's not inside a tube. It's basically, there's a split between the top and the bottom. The hosel's free floating inside the head.
Yeah, and that basically just reduces weight, right? So they don't have this extra tube in there to kind of control the thing, and it's tied on the top and it's tied on the bottom, so it's still stable plenty, but it's just another weight saving. And, you know, weight in the heel is not necessarily a great place to put it, so it's nice they can make that weight, and that's helping move the CG back.
Couple grams to put the CG. Let's talk about CG position. We've got it written down here. We'll bring it up on a graph later. But we did a quick comparison, thanks Tom Mace, Dr. Tom Mace, for measuring the MOI and CG. Just looking at the CG positions from the 430 Max, last year's model, 2 years ago's model compared to this one. The CG depth from the shaft backwards to the head was 1.13 inches. In the G440, it's 1.25 inches. That's
quite a bit more, actually. It's substantial, right? And that's going to basically give you a higher launch, makes it more forgiving as well, helps the MOI. So lots of good things from there. No real detrimental things. You'd think, obviously, when you move the CG back a little bit, you don't have to spar forward. You lose a little ball speed, but they're gaining in a lot of other ways. So it seems to be working pretty well.
Okay, well, let's figure it out. Glenn, if it's okay with you, let's take the center hit on the G440 Max. We've got the 10.5 degrees, 95 miles an hour, 0 angle of attack, 0 path, the 0 face, and we're going to hit a shot from the center and see what happens. All right.
Pretty straight.
So maybe I'll give some of the numbers away while we're looking to check this. We had an average from the center of 136 ball speed, 12.5 degrees launch. Now looking at the other heads we've tested in this same loft speed, angle of attack, that's a little higher than what we've seen, by a degree almost.
Yeah, the deep CG is helping that, for sure.
And then what happens is the shaft, the head's kind of dragging this way through impact and just keeping that loft on the golf club, right? 2700, so maybe a little higher spin, generally speaking, than what we've seen in some of the other core models. Plus 2.1 tilt, so it's basically a straight flyer.
Yeah. Now we've got it in the center position too, right? So we have the center.
Yeah, the weight was neutral,
Right. As we move it towards the heel and toe, that's going to change that some.
Yeah. and 226 yards carry. I think that's basically almost within a yard or half a yard of where everything's carried at this test.
Yeah, really. I mean, like I said, you can't really look at the distance carry. I mean, this is probably getting helped a little bit because the launch is higher, right? So, I mean, it's just going a little further. But, you know, depending on the person, that may be a good thing or a bad thing. But I really want to look at the ball speed and, you know, how much spin versus how much launch it's actually generating.
Right. And Glenn, were those numbers there pretty close to what we saw? So 12.5 launch, 2,700 RPMs, 228 carry, and 137 ball speed. So that one shot peaked the average by 1 mile an hour. So it was a good test. Okay, so next thing is to look at the toe test.
Yep.
It's a big miss here.
It is.
Yes.
And it's amazing what these new drivers are doing that far off center. So.
Okay, let's see. I won't ruin it for you, but let's see what it does in that 3/4 inch offset. And actually, while Glenn's working here, we can talk about the lie angle in this 59.5 degree lie angle.
Right.
So we've seen drivers go lower than that. This is kind of right in the middle, if not on the upright side.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit on the upright side. I mean, if you look at some of the, you know, most of the drivers that are trying to draw the ball a little bit, that's one of the design things they do is make it more upright to make it draw more. So that's obviously helping a little bit. The other thing to note, though, is Ping actually goes from standard to flat setting.
Right.
Where most
Everything's
companies,
flat.
yeah, everything comes standard and they go flat. So they're a little more upright as the standard setting, but they do have the option of going flatter.
Yeah.
Most other drivers go standard and upright. So they start a little flatter, but you can only go up, you can't go down from there.
Yeah.
So then their flat setting, they're probably flatter than most drivers.
Yeah, it's really flat. I love the look of their setting. When you do the reverse of standard, and it's just full flat neutral loft.
Yep.
It just looks great to me on the
Yeah,
ground.
I'd rather see the thing up so it goes a little more left, but that's a personal reference thing.
460 cc's and 9632 in the MOI. So this thing's
Pretty high.
really high MOI.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 3/4 inch off the toe. Was that start line down the right, Glenn, trying to come back a little bit? The launch stayed the same, and we saw that launch plus 0.5 degree, but in this test it stayed the same. The spin barely changed. Yeah, we gained 100 RPMs, so really not much to talk about there, and we got the same carry.
And that's
we're
kind of what we
seeing
saw on the
that.
test. Yeah, we see it on the test. What's impressive on this driver, and like I said, I miss it on the toe. I never hit the heel of the club. It's exactly the same distance, you know, 3/4 inch off the center on the toe that you do when you hit it dead center.
So this is
Pretty good
in
club
your
for the toe.
wheelhouse,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is the point of the channel, right? It's not to say this club's better than this club, this one. For you, at 95 miles an hour, let's say you're pretty neutral, you hit it in the toe, you're going to hit it the same distance with the same launch and spin almost from the toe and the center. Like, that's the information you need to make an informed choice on purchasing a golf club.
Right. This would be definitely a driver I would think about. Now, the downside to this is, like I said, it's kind of neutral as far as the dispersion right and left, but you do have the option to move the thing to the heel. So in the heel position, for me, this might be a really good driver.
Right, yeah,
Yep.
you get a little more tuck
Yep.
over on it, yep. We saw the tilt get a little more left. Obviously, it always starts right and comes back. We're going
Right.
to see that. No trade-off, 0 yard trade-off in
No,
carry.
you didn't
So
lose
it's
anything.
awesome. Yeah.
And that's pretty far. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the same thing for the heel, Glenn. We can probably let's prelude this. As Glenn's going to hit this, the heel shot, we are expecting to see maybe a hair left of target, not much, and we've lost 13 yards. So we're going to see us carry about 213 and 4% ball speed. If I do some quick math, we're going to lose about 4, 5, 6 miles an hour maybe. So 130 ball speed, 13 yard
your
loss.
guesses here.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty straight.
Ball speed 133, no change in RPMs from the center. Good test, Glenn. That was really, really good. And 215. So, you know, this is where the test is great. We know the robot's good because our average was in 2 yard carry. So we lost 11 yards rather than 13. And the spin stayed right in the same realm, which is great from a heel strike.
Yeah, well, if you miss it on the heel, you know, you're going to find it. It's going to be dead straight. So it's really not moving around much. So
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And there you have it. I mean, this is really a head that's going to give you a little more launch, a little more spin, and you're going to get that maximum toe forgiveness.
Yep.
Remember, we're just reporting on one model out of 3. We've got the LST, we've got the SFT, and you've still got the 430 10K driver in the mix for this year to add that 10K super forgiving option. Make sure you head to Cool Clubs and get fit. Head to a Worldwide Golf retail location. Check these things out firsthand. Like, subscribe, tell us your thoughts about the data and the video. We just want to keep improving, and we're here for you.